Scarecrow.
A movie about a girl in ruby slippers walked audiences down a yellow brick road that behind the camera was paved with real fire, real lion fur.
Get up on me, eh? Why?
Asbestos snow, and a 16-year-old star being fed pills to make her thinner. It went through 5 directors, nearly killed one of its leads on day 9.
I didn't mean to kill her. Really, I didn't. It's just that he was on fire.
And lost money in theaters. Here are 15 shocking facts about The Wizard of Oz. Number 1. Shirley Temple was supposed to play Dorothy. Before Judy Garland ever stepped into a pair of ruby slippers, MGM's Dream Dorothy was a completely different girl. 20th Century Fox wanted Shirley Temple, the biggest child star on Earth at the time, to play the lead. MGM had to outbid Fox for the rights to the book. Fox then refused to loan Shirley Temple out. MGM's second choice was Deanna Durbin, who was also unavailable. Judy Garland ended up in the role by default because she was under long-term contract to MGM and technically free. One of the most iconic performances in movie history exists because the studio's first 2 choices weren't available, and the third one was already on the payroll. Number 2, the film had 5 different directors. Most movies have 1 director. The Wizard of Oz went through 5. Norman Taurog was hired first, then dropped. Richard Thorpe replaced him and was fired after 2 weeks because his early footage was flat and unimaginative. George Cukor stepped in briefly, mostly to redesign Dorothy's look, but never shot a full scene. Victor Fleming took over and handled most of the movie. Then Fleming was pulled off the production to save Gone with the Wind, and King Vidor came in to finish the Kansas sequences, including the Over the Rainbow scene. Fleming is the only one who received the on-screen credit. The most seamless-looking musical of its era was assembled by a rotating door of 5 different men. Number 3. The original Tin Man nearly died from his own makeup. The first actor cast as the Tin Man was Buddy Ebsen, who would later become famous as the star of the Beverly Hillbillies. To achieve the metallic look, MGM's makeup team dusted him head to toe in pure aluminum powder. Nobody had tested what breathing it in every day would do to a human being. After about 10 days on set, Ebsen collapsed. He was rushed to the hospital. His lungs had essentially given out. He had to recover in an oxygen tent because his lungs would not function on their own. He nearly died. He never returned to the film. His voice, however, is still in the finished movie in the group vocals because those tracks had already been recorded before he collapsed. Number 4. Jack Haley replaced him and was never told why. MGM needed a new Tin Man fast and quietly. They cast Jack Haley and, according to accounts from the production, never explained to him what had happened to Ebsen. Haley showed up believing he was simply the choice for the role. The makeup team knew what they had done. This time, they mixed the aluminum into a paste and painted it on Haley's face rather than dusting it. Haley still developed a serious eye infection that required medical treatment, but he made it through the shoot. He wore the tin costume, sang the songs.
When a man's an empty kettle,
and never spoke publicly about being kept in the dark about the health risk that had almost killed the man before him. Number 5. Margaret Hamilton was set on fire during her big exit. The Wicked Witch's iconic disappearance in a puff of smoke and flame was a practical effect. During the shoot, the trapdoor under Hamilton was supposed to lower her out of sight the exact moment the flames erupted. The timing failed. The trapdoor didn't drop fast enough. Real flames shot up around her before she could descend. Her hat and broom caught fire.
How about a little fire, Scarecrow?
Her face and hands were burned. Because her green makeup contained copper compounds that were toxic if they got into an open wound, the makeup crew had to scrub the burns immediately to keep her from absorbing the chemicals into her bloodstream. She spent 6 weeks recovering at home before returning to set. Number 6. Her stunt double was burned even worse. When Hamilton refused to redo the smoke and fire stunt, MGM brought in her stunt double, an actress named Betty Danko, for the next effects-heavy sequence. It also went wrong. A pipe underneath Danko exploded during the take. She was rushed to the hospital with serious injuries and spent 11 days recovering. Her legs were permanently scarred. 2 women playing the same character were badly hurt, filming almost the same effect. And the studio kept shooting. Quick pause. If this is hitting, hit subscribe so the next deep dive lands in your feed. Drop a comment with the moment from this movie that always sticks with you. Now back to Oz. Number 7. The Cowardly Lion costume was made from real lion pelts. Burt Lahr's massive lion suit was not synthetic fur. It was constructed from actual lions.
Get up on me, eh? Why?
The costume department stitched together real lion pelts into a full-body suit. Estimates of its weight range up to around 90 pounds. Under the hot Technicolor lights, Lahr essentially sweated through every take. He couldn't cool down, he couldn't take breaks efficiently because getting the suit on and off was a slow, complicated process. He also couldn't eat solid food while wearing the makeup, so he lived on soup and drinks through straws for most of the shoot. What audiences saw as a comedic performance was Burt Lahr performing under the physical weight of dead animals in California's summer heat. Number 8. The poppy field snow was pure asbestos. The moment where snow starts falling in the poppy field to wake Dorothy and her friends is one of the most memorable images in the movie. That snow is asbestos. Chrysotile asbestos was widely used in the 1930s as a fake snow substitute because it looked convincing on film and didn't melt under the lights. Nobody understood yet that inhaling it caused fatal lung disease decades later. The cast, including Judy Garland, spent full days breathing in a poisonous mineral disguised as movie magic. The scene that plays like a fairy tale rescue was, in industrial safety terms, a genuine long-term health hazard for everyone in it. Number 9. The Emerald City horses were colored with Jell-O. The horses of a different color you see in the Emerald City sequence are real animals. To achieve the vivid pastel shades, the crew coated the horses in different flavors of powdered Jell-O mix.
Crickets speak all day in the merry old land of Oz. We get up at 12 and start to work at 1.
The problem was immediate. The horses could taste it. Between takes, they kept trying to lick each other clean. The crew had to constantly reapply the coloring throughout the day and rush the scenes before the animals could ruin the effect. The Humane Society was reportedly on set during the shoot. What looks like whimsical Technicolor animation is real horses trying to eat themselves. Number 10. Toto earned more than the Munchkin actors. Terry, the Cairn Terrier who played Toto,
She isn't coming yet, Toto. Did she hurt you? She tried to, didn't she?
was reportedly paid $125 per week for her work on the film. The actors playing the Munchkins were paid, on average, about $50 per week. That means the dog earned more than double what the human performers portraying an entire nation were earning. It's one of the ugliest financial facts about the production, and it reflects the deep prejudice against little people in early Hollywood who were seen more as visual props than as actors. The dog also had a personal trainer, a dedicated caretaker, and eventually appeared in 12 other films. Most of the Munchkin actors never worked again at that level. Number 11. Judy Garland was 16 and being fed pills to work harder. This is the fact that has slowly overshadowed everything else about the movie. Judy Garland was 16 years old during the shoot. MGM was determined to make her look 12. The studio doctors gave her amphetamines to keep her energy up during long days of shooting. They gave her barbiturates to help her sleep at night. She was also given diet pills. Her contract restricted what she was allowed to eat on set. Coffee, cigarettes, and chicken soup were often her whole meals. She was also fitted with a corset to flatten her figure so she read on camera as a younger child. The addiction she carried for the rest of her life, the one that contributed to her death in 1969 at the age of 47, began in earnest during the making of this movie. She was a teenager being chemically managed to fit an image the studio wanted. Number 12. Over the Rainbow was almost cut from the movie. This is the one that always shocks people. The song, now considered the greatest movie song of the 20th century, was nearly deleted before the film even premiered. MGM executives argued that Over the Rainbow slowed the movie down.
Over the rainbow.
They thought a full ballad performed by Dorothy in a Kansas barnyard was a pacing problem and would lose audience attention early. Associate producer Arthur Freed and composer Harold Arlen had to fight repeatedly to keep it in. It was cut and restored more than once during the editing process. The song eventually won the Academy Award for Best Original Song. If Freed hadn't stood his ground, one of the most famous songs in American cultural history would have ended up on the cutting room floor forever. Number 13. The film was a financial flop when it came out. Modern audiences think of The Wizard of Oz as an instant classic. It wasn't. When it opened in August 1939, it earned only about $3 million on its initial release against a production cost of roughly $2.7 million. Factoring in marketing and distribution, the film actually lost money for MGM at first. Critics praised it. Audiences were curious, but it was competing that year against Gone with the Wind, which crushed everything at the box office. The Wizard of Oz didn't become profitable until MGM re-released it in 1949, and it earned roughly $26 million, 10 times its original take. The film that defined American childhood almost went into the books as a break-even studio investment. Number 14. Television turned it into a legend. Between 1956 and 1974, The Wizard of Oz aired on network television almost every year, usually around a major holiday. For roughly 2 decades, an entire generation of American children experienced it as an annual event. Kids sat in front of the television waiting for it. Families made a tradition of it. That repeated broadcast cycle transformed it from a modest studio product into a foundational piece of American culture. According to the Library of Congress, the constant television airings mean The Wizard of Oz has been seen by more human beings than any other film ever made. Not the biggest ticket sales, the most viewers, the most eyes ever. And it happened almost entirely on TV. Number 15. It broke down almost everyone who made it and still shaped the movies forever. Here's the last one. Nearly every major person involved in this film paid a price for it. Buddy Ebsen never fully recovered his lung capacity and remained bitter for the rest of his life about missing the finished movie. Margaret Hamilton lived with her burn scars and never wore heavy stage makeup the same way again. Judy Garland was chemically dependent for the rest of her life. Burt Lahr suffered from heat exhaustion. The Munchkin actors were mistreated in ways that only came out in later biographies. 5 directors bounced through the production. The film lost money on release. Somehow, out of all that harm, MGM produced a piece of cinema so visually inventive, so emotionally direct, so musically enduring, that it changed how movies were made forever. Technicolor as a storytelling tool, the sepia to color transition, the concept of the modern film musical, the idea that a fantasy world could be built on a soundstage and feel completely real. All of it was proven possible by this movie. Everything from The Wiz to Wicked to modern Disney animation traces back to what MGM built here. A cast that suffered, a crew that improvised, a studio that almost lost money, and a girl of 16 who was worn down by the whole system. Together they made the film that defined American cinema for generations. The magic on screen was real. The cost behind it was very, very real. That's 15 facts behind The Wizard of Oz. Drop your favorite in the comments, hit like and subscribe. Until next time.